Is it a good time to be buying property in Spain? I would have to say it depends on what property you're buying, because I've been looking around the areas around me, and there's some real bargains to be had if you know where to look. A lot of them are not advertised online. There's three houses, well, two apartments and one house that we've just put up in the last week. None of them are advertised online, but their prices are relatively cheap. There is one of the three I haven't actually done yet, which is actually a three-bedroom house, because when we went there, my SD card was corrupt, so I've got to redo it. But it's a three-bedroom house on multi-stories. You know, it's a semi-detached house, basically. Is it? No, it's a, what do you call it? A terraced house. It's coming in at 96,000, and when you compare that to a apartment just across the road from us, it's a lot of money for something of the same value. You find that a brand new place can cost you 120,000 for a studio apartment, which is nothing in comparison to size. This is why I say you need to look around, because what's happened is the banks have kept hold of a lot of properties. They've got a lot of debt that is stuck in those properties that they need the money back, and they're basically overvalued properties. They are just not worth the investment. As such, the properties they want to push and get you to buy are the ones that they need rid of. They want you to spend more on a house than it's really worth. The other side being the property investments. The building and construction industry has started booming again because they're selling the new ones. But there's so many old properties. This one we're in here at the moment, the one we live in, is not expensive. There's three-bedroom apartments from about 60,000 upwards in La Mata, but a new studio apartment's 120,000. There's, like I said, the house we had a look at, it's terraced. That's even got a roof deck where you can go up on the roof, you know, put your laundry or sit up there as a solarium, but it's only 96,000. You need to shop around. Real estate agents stick some funny figures on some of these properties, and I see it myself. There was a apartment we were looking at buying that was advertised at 45,000. We then seen the same one on another website, I think it was 60 something, and then the last one was like 85, 90,000 for the same apartment. Just three different real estate agents, three different websites, which tells you that they're ripping off the owner of the property, but also the ones at the high end are unlikely to sell, or it's going to sit there for years. One of the two. So, when is the right time to buy it? I would say now. There's a lot of people that still want rid of properties. There's a lot of people that have died. There's people that bought the wrong types of apartment, for example, where they didn't factor in the fact that they may have arthritis, they may have a need for a wheelchair, etc., and bought an apartment which is 2 stories up and they cannot access it because there's no lift. There is a lot of stuff around which were people's retirement homes, but they bought the wrong thing. There's a lot of properties where a partner's died, where the person's not wanting to live there anymore, but they bought it as a property rental or they bought it as their holiday home, but because the other partner's not there, they don't want it anymore. There's a lot of reasons that people want rid of property, and there's a lot of people that have still been paying the debts on the properties but still want rid of it. They want out. There's one not far from me, the guy wants to sell his, but the fact is there's not enough equity in it to repay his mortgage, so the bank's not letting him sell it. So be aware, there is a lot of scope to get a property at the right price. You just need to hunt around. And like I said, you know, some people have asked me already, can you have a look for a house? And I have been. I found like I said, the ones we found recently are all reasonably priced. The one that's a bit high would be the apartment rental, where the owner, because we're looking at the other two, asked if we would advertise it. They're not really fussed if they sell it or not, because they actually rent it out for, I think it's €700 for 2 weeks at a time. They're making money off it. It's already paid for them. The houses they were showing me are actually their relatives. One, the guy's lost a leg, can't get up the stairs, so they're at their other house, which is further north, and will never be coming back here. The other one, the woman was married to an Irish guy. The Irish guy's died. Their house has become available because she's gone back to the same town as the guy who lost the leg. So there is properties there, and this isn't taking advantage of people. In fact, you're buying properties at the right price. You're not overpaying, you're not underpaying, you're actually paying what they're really worth. I know a lot of these new properties come with insulation, etc., which is worth the investment, but at the same time, you can do some of the work yourself. You can insulate panels, you can get it all renovated the way you want and still have change. It's entirely up to you. The market for renting in La Mata is pretty huge. I can't move the van at the moment because I've nowhere to park it. It's parked in the next street, but we're fully booked because it's the Holy Week. Everywhere's full. I can't, if I left it, went off somewhere, come back, I couldn't park it. It took about 2 hours the other day to try and find somewhere to park, and I was up in Pilomar, which is about 15 minutes from the house. And then I think it was about 5 or 6 o'clock at night, it was when I brought it back because it's so busy here. There is a huge rental potential, and that's why if you're looking at getting a retirement place or something, it may be worth buying it ahead and getting somebody else to pay your mortgage by renting it out in the holiday season. I also have people that are looking for long-term rentals, because long-term rentals are a bit harder to find, especially in this area, because they make as much in 2-3 months for tourists as they would with a long-term tenant. The advantage with a long-term tenant, though, is once they're in there, they look after the place, and it's just a continuous payment. You don't have to worry about it because they're there for the next 2 years or whatever. You don't have to deal with the changeovers of cleaning the apartments when you have people going out and coming in. None of those hassles exist. But if you do need any assistance, in fact, I'll do another video on that because we're talking about property on this one. But if you do need property management, we also do that. We have people that have been doing it for over a decade here. All right, thanks for watching.